Hey, what's up, guys? It's Neuro again, here for the second video on my YouTube channel. If you are not familiar with me, I am a new freelance esports writer for Jinx TV, and I do a lot of articles, mostly recaps. I've done some interviews. I have this new YouTube channel where I'm doing some like video content when I can, or when I feel that it's pertinent. And I mainly created this when the LCS was kind of down, and I kind of figured that articles were probably going to be few and far between, and I would try to come up with some YouTube content. Now that the LCS is back, I have been writing more articles, but I still do try to do some videos when I get a chance. And based on the news today, I thought it might be a good idea to make a video real quick and share some of my thoughts. And what is that news, you ask? Well, earlier today, Travis Gafford had posted a video on his YouTube channel regarding the fact that he has been hearing from multiple team sources, that Doublelift's contract is up for trade from Team Liquid. So they're looking to trade him. This is still not confirmed. It's not confirmed by Doublelift himself. It's not confirmed by Steve or by Team Liquid at all. This is mainly from Travis Gafford, who is hearing this from multiple sources, who says that the sources, from the fact that he's heard it from so many different people, that he does feel confident that it is legitimate. And I will post the link to his video in the description box below. By the way, if you see me looking at the camera or kind of looking off a little bit, it's just because I have notes here. My camera is right here, but my OBS is right here. So I'm looking in all these different directions. So I don't have the best setup right now. And obviously quarantine, so I'm in my living room making this. So if you see me kind of looking around, it's not because I don't know where to look. So I will put Travis Gafford's video in the description box. You can go to his YouTube channel and find it there, obviously. Esports has created an article that was put up on Reddit. Unfortunately, it's basically just taking everything from Travis. It's not really, there's not really much information other than what Travis has revealed. Unfortunately, Travis's video was removed from the League of Legends subreddit, but the Esports one is up there. I guess Travis Gafford is not considered a journalist, even though he's been working with League of Legends and has significant connections with a lot of teams, a lot of the organizations, and some players, including Doublelift himself. I guess that's not valid. I don't know. That's not really here nor there. So, possibility of DL leaving Team Liquid. So some of the things that I'll be talking about have to do with the context that I took from Travis Gafford's video, some of the things that he and Mark talked about. Other things are just questions that I have regarding the speculation. And I'm not going to get too speculative about, why it happened or if it's legitimate. I'm taking it as fact, but I'm not going to go crazy and say, anything that nobody else would be thinking at this point. So the main thing is, it looks like there's possibly a rift with Doublelift and with management. I believe there was a Reddit thread talking about Doublelift saying that the coaches didn't want him playing Senna, which was a problem. I personally don't think he played Senna very well on stage, but maybe he was getting better and wanted to keep trying. That's not really something that I'm privy to information, so I'm not really going to speculate too much on that. And I mean, TL didn't really do very well. I mean, they ended the season in 9th. They were having a lot of issues with Brox's visa and having to sub in Fire, the issue with Tactical. Even though he played really well, he was still a substitute, still from the academy team, and they had to sub him in when Doublelift was having motivational issues and got benched. But there's still a speculation of, Doublelift has been with Team Liquid and gotten them back-to-back consecutive titles, LCS titles, brought them to MSI, MSI finals. I mean, it doesn't really seem that you wouldn't really take one one season, one split, and say, okay, now we're gonna completely get rid of you. Not to mention the fact that his contract does not end until the end of this year. So any team that would buy him would essentially have to either buy out his contract completely and then make up a new one starting with summer split, or they would only get him for 6 months. He would be a free agent, and then they if that team wanted to keep him, they would have to actually re-sign him and make him actually sign another contract. So it's a little bit messy at this point. If he were to get traded right before summer split, if his contract was for another 2 years or something like that, and wasn't ending in 6 months, I could sort of understand. But it's kind of wondering, is this like and Mark had actually brought this up in the video too, is this like a Dig Hooney situation where both parties came together and said, maybe this is an issue, maybe this isn't working out, or is this a like, I need to get out of this environment right now type of situation, which is still unclear. We don't really know what that would be like. And then obviously, this is also coming from the video, that the knowledge of that Steve would not trade Doublelift to a team that he wouldn't be willing to go to. He's not just going to throw him somewhere where Doublelift wouldn't want to go. And so the speculation would be, where would Doublelift go? What teams would take him? Obviously, the top 3 right now would be C9, EG, and TSM. C9 is obviously a no-go. I don't think that they're going to get rid of what's happening, especially because it would affect bot lane. Why would they get rid of Sven? He's doing a perfectly good job, especially with Vulcan. The two of them together have been working really well. The synergy is really nice. What would be the point? EG possibly could be something that would work. Except, I hear that Bang has been talking about maybe wanting to go back to Korea. Not really sure how true that is or how likely that is, but it doesn't look like, even though Doublelift has worked with like Svenskeren together, he doesn't really seem to be a fan of Zeyzal, and I'm not really sure that Zeyzal's support playstyle would work with Doublelift. And even so, I believe it was on a stream that Doublelift did where right after Sneaky left Cloud9, that he believed that Zeyzal was a little bit more of the issue than Sneaky was. So I'm not really sure that he would work. Obviously, the number 1 team that might be a possibility would be TSM. Why not? I mean, but even if TSM were to take that, would they be able to afford that? What would the asking price be? Would they only take him for 6 months and then release him into the wild again, or would they want to buy out his contract and make him sign a new one? That's another piece of speculation. If he were to go to TSM, where would Kabe go? I mean, Kabe literally just left the EU. He only started with TSM this split. So would he go to TL? Would he go back to EU? Would he find another team? There's a lot of moving parts if Doublelift were to leave for a team that already has an AD carry, obviously. And then that makes me kind of feel bad for Kabe because he just came over. And speaking of another EU player who just came over here, I also feel bad for Broxa. He has not really had the best year so far. I mean, he's had the visa issues, not actually knowing if he would be able to play for Team Liquid. He comes here, now we're in the middle of a global pandemic, and he couldn't even go home to be with family during this whole thing, even if he wanted to. And now there's this whole discussion of, is Doublelift being traded? And I'm pretty sure that one of the sticking points to having Broxa come by was, we have probably the number 1 native NA AD carry on our team, and everyone else is also really solid. You would want to join our team and get LCS titles and probably be able to show us how to be better internationally, because that is, something that Liquid needs. And now all of that is up in the air. Speaking of Broxa, I do have a clip of him talking about this because people did bring it up while he was streaming today, and he did kind of put his opinion. So I'm going to try to splice that into this so that way you can see it and kind of see his opinion. And then, there's discussion afterwards. So here's the clip, and this is what Broxa said on it.
I mean, I really want to get your opinion because obviously I'm a little biased in this. Of course, this coverage brought to you by Alienware. I've heard from multiple team sources that Doublelift is up for sale and will likely be traded from Team Liquid to a different team during the break between spring and summer split. I have not asked Peter about this out of, I don't know, respect for our friendship and because I think it would get weird. But so just, take it with a grain of salt. I don't have it official from him, but I've heard it enough now that I'm pretty confident.
Okay,
Travis
so
is not a real
it's rumors.
He would never.
He's
put
talking about rumors.
breaking news over his friendships like a journalist
He
should.
didn't even
Yes,
hear from
exactly.
Doublelift.
Yes.
That's what I
mean,
heard, right?
I'm Peter about this out of, I don't know, respect for our friendship and because I think it would get weird. But so just, take it with a grain of salt. I don't have it official.
Take
from
it
him,
with a
but
grain of salt.
I've heard it enough
Nothing
now that I'm
official.
pretty confident.
Travis is
Confident.
not a real journalist. He would never put breaking news over his friendships like a journalist should.
Yes, exactly. Yes. I mean, I'm still breaking this news, I guess, but I'm not awkwardly asking my best friend about to tell me if he's involved in this or what's going on. So, I don't know. Anyway, that's where we're at.
I'm not even gonna watch this. I really CBA watching all these rumor kind of things. I don't know. I'm actually not gonna bother with this. Like, this is a waste of my time. I mean, I know how it's like nerve-wracking and exciting and whatnot for fans. I mean, probably mostly nerve-wracking, but I'm not even gonna watch this. There's no point of me watching this. This is a rumor. I don't care about rumors.
So with that kind of reaction, it's one, he could be honestly just really not interested in dealing with any of these rumors, although he seems to not really give Travis the credit that he deserves. Travis said specifically in his video that he would not be kind of talking about this if he didn't have the confidence that it was true or that there was some weight behind it, some truth behind it. And I think that is a little bit misguided, personally. But, to each their own. This is a rumor, and there's also the possibility that he could be downplaying this. I mean, why would you say, oh yeah, I heard about this, it's totally true, Doublelift's totally getting traded? He wouldn't say that. Even if he knew the information, he wouldn't say that. You just wouldn't do that. That's not very good PR. So whether or not he actually knows that there's a situation, or whether he's just kind of, brushing it under the rug and saying, no, I don't know anything about this, it's rumors, I don't have time for that, is kind of up in the air as well. We don't really know. And there's not really much information at this moment other than Travis Gafford's word, which is all we have to go on. And that's probably all we're going to have to go on for a little bit longer, at least until the start of summer split, because there is a wonder of why Liquid couldn't just hold on to Doublelift until the end of his contract, whether or not they go to Worlds, because this is the summer split. The summer split is going to determine who goes to Worlds, since, spring split that's only for MSI. So what's the reason why they would just decide to trade him beforehand? Again, so much speculation. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this, your reactions. Do you believe that this is really nothing to worry about, that it is just a rumor, that Travis doesn't know what he's talking about, and this just seems like drama to stir up right before the summer split? Or do you believe that there's actually some truth to this? And if so, why? Where do you think Doublelift would go? Would he just take the rest of the split? Would he take summer split off? I highly doubt that anyway. So there's, again, a lot of speculation. I'm only going on the information that I have and just my own thoughts on this whole thing. I really don't think that it would be wise to trade someone after one bad split. I mean, who hasn't had a bad split? A bad game, a bad week, a bad month, and this pandemic isn't helping anything. And considering, Doublelift, like I said earlier, has brought Team Liquid 4 consecutive back-to-back LCS titles, including bringing them to an MSI final, I just don't know that this is the right situation. I don't really know that there's cause. So if it is true, it cannot be because of his performance or issues with performance. It has to be something deeper, and that kind of brings into the whole philosophy of what is happening with Team Liquid. This split was really not that great for them, and it's not the type of split that we've come to know from Team Liquid the last 4 splits. Whether it's a coaching issue, whether it's a synergy issue, or whether it was just this tangled web of, Broxa not being here on time, because of the visa issues, and then kind of the new changes with Spring Split, and, Doublelift kind of mentioning that he didn't think Spring Split mattered, which is a whole, that's another story in and of itself that, people, ever since, the Players Association had the vote and they didn't want to, continue with Spring Split. And one of the reasons that at least Riot had made public was that Spring Split didn't matter. Who knows if many of those players said that? Who knows who actually said that? But Doublelift had been vocal about that in the past, so it's possible that, maybe it was just a whole bunch of things that kind of accumulated into dropping him before summer. But again, it's all speculation. There's nothing confirmed at this point, but I thought it would be interesting to kind of talk about it a little bit now that we have some more people speaking out of it. We've had Travis talk about it, obviously, and then we've had Broxa. And again, until we get in more information, there's probably not going to be much else that can be said about it, but I am curious to hear your thoughts. Where do you think Broxa would go? Do you think this is an actual, credible rumor, or something with at least a hint of truth to it, or do you think it's all just bullshit and we're not going to really get anywhere from it? So I'm really curious to hear your thoughts, so go ahead and leave those comments, and I think we're going to leave that here for now. Like I said, I will try to continue to create content when I find that there is content to create. A lot of my content tends to be in the form of articles or interviews. I do a lot of recaps for LCS, and also I do streaming. So finding content specifically for YouTube is a little bit different, especially because of with the quarantine, it's not really like I could go out and interview somebody or try to get an interview and then, be able to post it, because I wouldn't be able to be near them. But that said, thanks for watching if you did watch throughout all this video and all of my rambling. And until next time, we will talk soon. Bye.